Now, obviously, we're just sticking to those two scenes. I mean, we all love the interaction between him, Grogu, and Din Djarin. But so really quick, this was incredible in the cinema. He was talking about Rogue One. I love that Moff Gideon is so scared that he literally tries to commit suicide because of and Luke is the Vader equivalent to the Empire. Yes. Okay. So, Kitty,
Mhm.
you've seen them, obviously a couple times already by yourself, and then after watching it now, what are you leaning towards?
Uh, so can I work this out in my head?
Go ahead.
Like
Yeah.
you, so this was hard for me. So and originally it was a no-brainer. Like I
Right.
told you, it's like
You
come
told me
on.
that yesterday. Yes.
So and then I kind of watched it again because so the Vader one has horror elements to it because it's Vader versus people.
Yeah.
So you're just like, holy shit, that's scary.
Yeah.
So it shows the interaction between how he terrifies living piss out of human beings. Like it's got that horror element to it, and it's just like music comes on, but you could barely hear the music in the background. You just hear his breathing and the lightsaber, and it just like scares the piss out of you, and
Yeah.
it's like freaking intense. So that was really so I was like, oh, it's an actually really kick-ass scene if you actually think about it. And then when I watch the Luke scene, I'm just like, wow, like that it's like him against these like really powerful robots. It's just showing you how strong he actually is.
Yeah.
So and then I'm just watching the whole scenes back though, and it's just like when you watch your interactions of how they tie the whole Luke scene back with everybody involved and the emotions and the feelings and everything, I think outrank though, Luke had the better scene.
Okay. All right.
Not
Look, and guys, look. There obviously is no wrong or right answer. There isn't. If you tell me Vader's scene is the best, in your opinion, then that is the best scene. If you tell me Luke, like you just said, had the better scene, if you think about other elements, which I'm going to get into in a minute, then by your own right, you are right. I mean, it's whatever you feel. And look, I said I've seen this. I saw this movie in the theater, and when it first happened, I remember just being like, I jumped out of my seat. I couldn't believe it. We finally got to see Vader in a light that we had never seen before, and like you said, it had the horror element. And if you compare the two side by side, yes, he is actually killing people
people, yeah. It's
as
terrifying.
opposed to robots.
Mhm.
People that were a threat because they were shooting him, but I mean, let's be honest, they weren't a threat. These robots were a threat because they were built so powerful and they were built to withstand most things. Um, so look, most people who know me know my obsession with Darth Vader.
Mhm.
They think it's a no brainer. They're like, oh, obviously you're gonna pick Vader. I mean, you look in
I'm
my
not
room. You come in my room, you're gonna just all you're gonna see is Empire, is Imperial stuff. You're gonna see Kylo Ren. You're not gonna see Kylo Ren's not hanging out in my room, but you know what I mean. You're gonna see toys. You're gonna see Vader helmet. I have my Imperial hat. So it took many factors. Here's how I came up with my idea. So, as I said 4 years ago, when I first saw this Vader scene, I loved it and then hated it at the same exact time. And I will tell you why. We never ever get to see this Vader ever again. And it doesn't fit the continuity of the Skywalker saga. It doesn't. It's an amazing, badass scene. And I love it. I love it as a standalone scene. But when you tie it into the actual Skywalker saga, and remember, Rogue One is set before A New Hope. So there's movies after A New Hope, obviously. You never get to see that. You never get to see that just vicious, ferocious, and just all powerful Vader, and it bothers me. It bothers me even more. I mean, and it's not George Lucas's fault. Those movies came out like 30 years, 40 years before Rogue 40 years before the Rogue One almost. So I get it. Luke is different because Luke now is after the Return of the Jedi in Mandalorian in the scene. He's now a Jedi. He's a Jedi Master base. I mean, he's the only Jedi pretty much, so he can rank whatever he wants himself. But his progression makes sense. His power makes sense now. Vader didn't progress in the other films. He regressed. In fact, if you want to even break it down even more, Vader fails in this scene. Vader does not even accomplish what he's there to do, and that is to get the data before it gets into the hands of the rebels. He actually fails what he's there to do. Now, don't get me wrong, he was terrorizing, and it was a badass scene, but he didn't accomplish what he was there for. Luke, however, did. Luke was there to not only be badass, but also come and save Grogu, and he did that by himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, because of that, because you put those two back to back or side by side, whatever, because of those elements is why I also choose Luke and his scene. It just makes more. It does. It makes more sense. Now, granted, when you take the horror element and you take the fact that Vader just shredded through people, I mean, it's a fucking cool scene. It really is. But as I said, because of those two elements, because we never again see that Vader, and he doesn't progress after that scene. After all that hate and anger, he's kind of muted almost, if you will, in most of the Star Wars trilogy. He has a couple of really cool scenes in Empire that I love, but we never again see him as in this light. And again, as I said, however, with Luke, because this is set after Return of the Jedi, after he defeated the Emperor or what? Well, I guess Vader did, but the Empire is gone and he's now a Jedi and he's the most powerful person in the universe. It shows. So for a continuity purpose and just for those two reasons is why I pick Luke. So, I mean, you were on the same page as me.
Yeah.
And it is hard. And like I said, that's why there really is no wrong or right answer. But if you really do put those elements into the mix and don't just compare the scenes in general, but compare the overall arc of the characters. This arc for Vader in Rogue One actually makes no sense, because if you watch Rogue One and if you get to the ending of Rogue One and then you watch A New Hope right after that, if you watch them in order, in chronological order, and if you watch A New Hope, it's a completely different character, So that's why I choose my choice. But guys, I want to know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do I have the right mindset and do I have the right ideas of why I picked my pick? Do you agree with Kitty? Well, do you agree with Kitty and I should say, or do you pick Vader? And again, if you do, Starspeed, you obviously said that Darth Vader scene is your personal favorite. Would you say that our reasonings for me and Kitty, do you agree with how we broke down these scenes? And is Vader your actual? So if you compare these two, do you actually still pick Vader? I would like to know. But yeah, I mean, again, these two scenes are just really cool, and it has nothing to do with the Mandalorian being fresh in my mind either. It really doesn't, because I mean, the Rogue One scene is unforgettable for me.
Well, Rogue One was fresh in my mind. I literally just watched it last night too.
Yeah.
Like I was like, because I'm doing the movies chronologically right now.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I want to do this. I want to do it the right way. And I was like, this movie is like fresh in my mind, and I was just like, and that's why it was a little bit harder. Like I was like, oh come on, and then I was like, wait, no, it is a little hard to, break down, like see which one is better. But then when you think about it as a whole, it'd have to be seen.
He said, yeah, I think I'm still going to stick with Vader. And again, that's your choice. And it makes sense because Vader does have a really kick-ass scene. He does.
He does. He really does.
It, like I said, it bothers me more that we don't get a chance to see that. And look, I kind of hope, I know we got enough Vader in the Skywalker saga, but I do kind of hope they do some sort of, in between episode 3 and episode 4 of Vader series with Disney Plus, something to show you, what Hayden Christensen's Anakin goes through right after he turns into Vader. Because remember, right after Revenge of the Sith, all you see is him walking towards the Emperor, and they're both overlooking the galaxy with the I believe the Death Star is being built, or something like that in the back, or something like that. I can't really remember. I'm pretty sure it was like the skeleton of the Death Star or something that they're looking at. But you don't really see Hayden Christensen, Anakin's Vader, do anything. You just, again, we jump right into A New Hope, and then that's what it is. But and then of course we get Rogue One, but Rogue One doesn't really give us the Vader that we know from the original trilogy. So I kind of wish we do get to see more of this Vader. I know the comic books show you this ferociousness and this just absolute powerful being that he is, but unfortunately we didn't get to see that in the theaters. But all right. So I did want to make this a quick stream. I just wanted to do the side-by-side comparison and then get our thoughts. But it is not too late to hear your comments and your thoughts on the matter. Please drop a comment, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, because we got more to come in 2021. And that's it. Again, I really want to wish everybody a happy new year. I hope 2021 is better for all of us. And Kitty, thank you for coming on, because I know you have been under the weather. I feel, I'm grateful for you coming on and doing this. And then and pretty soon we're going to be doing our Talk Soup.
Talk soup.
Talk Soup. Now, really quick, would you be down, or you want to do it after we start getting into the WandaVision thing? Would you be down to doing that DCEU kind of like ranking, obviously minus the Joker? Well, because the Joker isn't part of the DCEU.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
really doesn't. That movie doesn't belong in that mix. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen all the movies. That's why. If you haven't seen all the movies and you really don't,
All the movies.
what?
Of course, I've seen all the
You
movies.
saw Birds of Prey?
Yeah,
I didn't
love
know.
Birds of Prey.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love
Well,
Birds of
look, if you're down, we can pick a day whenever you're free. And then we can do, because I already have it on my phone. I already ranked them. And then we could do like a kind of a ranking of our favorite, from worst to first of DCEU movies.
Okay.
And then we can do that. If you want, we can even do that for our first Talk Soup stream.
Sure, sounds good.
All right, so guys, if you're into DC, Marvel, or any other kind of geeky and nerdy entertainment, I have this new segment we're going to call Talk Soup. And soup is spelled, as in SUPE, not soup as you SOUP as you eat. And it's just going to be her and I, either talking about movies and the Marvel Disney Plus series that we're going to hopefully get to watch in the upcoming year. But really quick, and then last comment, and then we're going to get off. I agree with your points with the rest of the saga not living up to Rogue One. However, out of the better corridor scene, and not depending on the rest of the saga, just completely in the moment, Vader. And I 100% agree with you. I get it. I do. If you really just take the corridor scene as is, without any emotions, without any tie-ins to any other elements that I discussed, then of course I think Vader has the better scene. Just because it just scares the living hell out of people. But overall, I really had to dig deep into my feelings. And again, I've been feeling this way. So if you take away the Luke and the Mandalorian scene, way before Mandalorian was even thought of, when I saw this movie, when I saw Rogue One in the theaters, I actually thought this way. I said, and I've been saying this in my review, I even reviewed the movie on IMDb. I said, that Vader scene was definitely the best part of the movie. However, I loved it and hated it in the same breath, just because of what it does to the continuity of the original Skywalker saga. But all right, guys. That being said, I'm going to end the stream. Thank you for joining. Hope you liked it, and if you did like it, please like it. And I will see you guys soon. And look forward to Talk Soup coming out soon. We will. I will post when we're about to do that. But Kitty, again, thank you for coming on.
Happy New Year, guys.
Guys, Happy New Year. Enjoy your Sunday.